Hello, hi, and welcome to today's video in which we're going to look at SCL, Structured Control List, or Structured Control Language, however you want to call it. And we're going to start with a sequence of videos actually in which we're going to create like a shelf system, a storage system, mainly using SCL language, because SCL language is a very specific language that should be used to create special functions. You don't program the whole PLC program in SCL, you just do it for specific functions. So today we are starting with the simple if statement that you basically have in every language. So let's jump into it. Therefore, I will create a new function block here. This function, yeah, it is a function block. This function block does need to mean a function block, could be a function as well, but I am already preparing for the next video, so in my case it's a function block. Just for today we wouldn't need a function, we would just need a function. But there we go. So I will call it storage system, and this is of course in SCL. Right. I have already prepared for my storage system some kind of storage here, where I have one Boolean value that tells me, hey, put something into the storage, Boolean value takes something out of the storage. Then we have to select a shelf, and we have here, you see shelves 0 to 100. So we have in total 101 shelves. Maybe let's make that just 0 to 99. So we have 100 shelves in total. Right, we have 100 shelves in total, 0 to 99. Right, and they're all empty. You see false, 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 false. That meaning it's all empty. If put in is active, we are going to change the value of one of those shelves today, and that shelf is the selected shelf. So let's create our storage system first here. I want to have this as an input, those two variables there, selected shelf, which is an integer, and put in, which is a Boolean value. Right? Those are just my structure elements that I want, and of course also my storage, my shelves, and those are array of Boolean, because something is in there and something is not in there. Of course we could do anything else, any data type, but 0 to 99, and here we go. So those are my inputs to my function that I'm going to create. Right? So if I call my function block here, my storage system, I have those as inputs, and I will just link them up to my data block that I have created in before. So that's just the input declaration, so to say. So we have the selected shelf, I have the put in command, and I have my shelves, which I'm going to put in here. Right? So this is just data blocks. This is just function blocks. This is just the preparation here. So you saw everything that I did. If you don't know why I did that, just check out my video on function blocks. Yeah. We just want to dive in actually here, and we're using those as an input. So the if statement, it's actually pretty simple. Can I zoom in SCL? I can zoom in, I didn't know. So the if statement is actually pretty simple. Right? You have it here on top. If you're in the SCL editor, you have on top a couple of commands. Let's just take the if statement, and the if statement is pretty simple. If a condition is met, meaning what is our condition? Of course, the put in command. I can just take this put in now and just drag and drop it over here. Right? If put in is anything else than 0, so in our case, if it's true, then do whatever is in between here. So what do we want to do? Of course, we want to put something in the shelf, right? And now I realize the shelf is actually not an input, it is actually an in-out. My bad. Here we go. Because we are reading values and we're also writing values. So that will, of course, change this. Sorry, this is just, yeah. Yeah. So, if put in is active, then do this. What do we want to do in here? Of course, we want to put something in the shelf. So I go here, take the shelf, right? Just drag and drop, take the shelf, go there. And as we're using arrays, of course, I will have to say which array element am I going to talk about. And there I make those brackets, those, I don't know how they are called in English, those, write it in the comments how those are called, the edge ones, the edgy braces. I don't know exactly. Yeah. And then, of course, I want to do that in the selected shelf. You see, I can just drop that here selected shelf there, done. My closing brackets are gone, closing brackets. And of course, I want to say, hey, this is now true. So that's from the last video. If you saw it on the SCL series, a double point and an equal sign. This was an assignment in SCL, and I want to put something in the shelf then. So let's see, let's download, right? Let's download this whole thing and let's see if that works as intended. Yeah. So let's go to the main, let's observe. So right now, my selected shelf is 0 and my put in is also 0. So let's get to the data block that is serving as my inputs here. Let's say selected shelf, and we can see all the shelves there, false, 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 false. So let's select a shelf, maybe shelf number 5. So shelf number 5 is the one with the array element 5, right? That says 5 in there. And as soon as I say put in, we're going to write a true in there. But let's look at that in here. Right, in here we have, now I need to zoom out because that's here on the side. So right now, the result, you see, result is basically the status in here. We could also put an equation in here with an and an or, but we're not going to do that right now. We're just focusing on the if statement itself. So if put in is true, we are going to execute that command. So let's turn put in true. Put in is going to be true. You can't see that because it's off screen here. I will turn it to true or to 1. But you see that the command now here, it is true, meaning all of this is being executed. So we should have now in storage number 5 this true value. Pretty good. So that's true. We have it. So if I now turn this false again, what's going to happen? I turn it false. This is false. If put in, this put in is false, then do this. So this is not going to happen anymore. So what's going to happen? This is not happening, but we're not automatically resetting, right? So it should stay the same. The value should stay the same. So I turn it to false. You see here, there's still a true in there. This is now false. We are just not executing this line of code. So what's going to happen? Of course, nothing, right? So what's going to happen? If put in, no, put in is false. So we're basically just jumping right to the end if. So that's it, right? That's it. We're just jumping outside now. We're not executing what's in here. And that's the if statement. Very simple, very easy. But of course, there's more. We have this put in command. I, of course, also want to have a take out command. So what do? I put this take out here in my list. Take out. Right. So as an input to my block, I will, of course, update my block here and make this an input. Right. So now we can also take out. What does that mean? When am I going to take out? I could now have a second if statement. So I could just copy this, copy, Control C, Control V, or right click, copy and paste, right? I could take, instead of this put in, I can take the take out. I just drag and drop, wait a second, and then you see the editor automatically turns this all, selects the whole thing. I could do this. If I take out, then do this, right? So let's see if that works. And I can already tell you, yes, it's going to work. So let's see. So shelf selected is still 5. It's true. If I activate take out, it is now false. Because now this if statement here is active, meaning this is executed. There we go. Now we have just one issue. We have one issue here. That is if both of them are active, which should of course not happen. If both of them are active, that is kind of stupid right now because this is coming here last. So this is the stronger one, right? So whatever we put in the end is the stronger one. Of course, there's always got to be a stronger one, but we should actually write a logic that tells us, hey, there's an error or so. Not going to do that. There should be an error command, something. If, well, I can do it. Let's do this. Let's have an output that says just simple error, right? It's a Boolean. So what can we do? If, what can I say? If both inputs are active at the same time. So put in, right? If put in is active, whoops, let's make this is easier. I always do this and then that's way easier. If put in is active, and we need to have an AND somehow. Usually in programming languages you write this stuff or this. In SCL you just write an AND, and you see this is already a keyword. Here we go. If put in is active and take out is active. Right? If this is active and this is active, then do the statement here. What do we want to do? We want to know, hey, there's an error. So what do I do? Error is true. Right? So that's a short thing so that we can catch. If both are active, we will have an error telling us, hey, there's something wrong. You can't take out something and put in something at the same time. So let's see. If I go online, whoops, I made changes in the call environment, so I have to reopen it. So if both are active at the same time, that's what's going to happen now. We still have both active. Right? We still have both active, both are true. Then we will have an error. So let's see if I go online here. So this is true, meaning this is being executed, which is still a problem. This is true, so this is also executed, and this is true, and this is true. The result of both is true, so we will have an error. So our error is true. We currently have an error. What can we do to actually make this a little bit better? So on top here, right, on top here, we of course need to change some things. Right? We would need to change some things so that it can't happen both at the same time. So what could we do? If put in is active and, can we actually put an AND? No. And, can I make this? Sorry, this is now. And I program in too many programming languages these days. So if put in is active and take out is active. I don't want this. Can I just... No, I can't. Stupid programming language. Now I have to say if put in is active and take out is not active, meaning is false. Yeah. Then we do this, meaning only put in is allowed to be active. Let's do the same here. And of course, put in is not active. Right? Same line. So this is only executed if only put in is active. This is only executed if only take out is active. This is activated when both are active. So let's see, let's download and see. You don't have to write an equal sign true here because it's asking for a 1. This is automatically a 1. Here I just want to see the result of this is going to be a 1. So if this is false, all of this is going to be a 1. If this is a 1, it's already a 1. So let's see, both are still active. So you see the result of these two is false, right? Because this is active and this is currently not false. So the result here is true. So it's 1 and 0. That's of course not true. So if I deactivate take out, for example, let's see, take out, I modify it and I put it to a 0. Right now we have an error. If I put this now to a 0, the take out, we do not have the error anymore. We have only the put in as active. So we only execute right now this. So that works. And that is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Now we have improved already a lot. Already 15 minutes. I just want to show you one more thing here, which is the following. Now we can improve this because SCL is a lot about timing, a lot about optimizing your code. And that is not optimized here. I'm basically asking for the same thing 3 times here. So what I can do is I can make this here, and I can make an else statement. An else statement says, hey, if this stuff here is 1, we're doing this. If this stuff here is 0, we're doing this, right? That would be the else statement. But what we actually want is if this is not true, then we want to do this, which would be an else if, and we can write ELSIF, right? ELSIF, and then we have to take all that code here right, which is basically a second statement. ELSIF do all of this now, right? Do all of this, and this of course can just go away directly, and we only have one end if, and there we go, right? So if this is true, we're doing this. If this is false, we are also asking, now is this true? And we're doing this. So instead of always asking twice, we are only asking twice if this is now wrong, right? If this is now wrong, we're only asking twice. We can take that, of course, a step further, and we can now again go with an ELSIF, right? Now we can go again with an ELSIF, and of course now I take my error code here. So now this is much optimized. So instead of always asking for all three conditions, we are only asking, is this true? If yes, do this. Don't even look at all that. If this is false, don't look at this. Look at this. If this is true, do this. If this is false, look at this. If this is the case, do this, right? So we are cascading our if statements a little bit. So this might be a little bit complicated now. That's how it is. So let's see. Let's see with an example. So right now you can always see what we are asking for. And before, everything was true or false here. That's not how we want it. We want optimized code. So right now this is true. This is true, right? This is true. So we're only doing this. You can see that here up top. Now if I make this put in also false, we are not even looking at this part. So I will make this now false. You can see that it's off screen. Now it's false. So we're looking at this. This is false. So please look at this, right? So this is also false. So please look at this. This is also false. So please end all of this. That's how we're doing it. We've cascaded it. So now let's only turn this one on. What's going to happen? We're jumping into the first step here, into the first statement. There we got it. If I turn this off again, and if I turn the take out on, so we are now we are asking for this, it's not true, we're not doing this. We're asking for this, this is true, so we are doing this. Now, this is the end, so this is already true, so we're jumping out of it, and we're not even asking for this. So if I now turn both on, what's going to happen? We have the third case, so this is false, so jump over this. This is false, jump over this. This is true, do this. Right? So we can cascade our if statements here. A little bit complicated, but once you get used to it, it's actually pretty simple. So now I have my little storage system with even an error output in case we have an error. Right? Good. That was a little bit longer than I thought, a little bit more complicated, just the if statement, and of course there is more to it, but that's the basic, that's okay. Just so we have it finished here, you can of course also put OR statements in here, right? Yeah, just so you know. But in our case, of course, we want the AND statement, and you can also cascade those. I can put another and I can put an OR in here. If you want to, of course, this all is with Boolean logic, so you have to put braces if you want to prioritize, multiply, stuff like this. If you are not aware of those, I will make a video on digital fundamentals to this. So, sorry if this was a little bit too long. If this is a little bit too complicated, just write a comment. Let me know in the comments below. I will continue next time with the loops. We have two different types of loops. We have a for loop and a while loop. I'll continue with loops. The next video, so 20 minutes, way too long. If you have questions, put them below. I'll try to get to them. If this is any helpful, leave a like. Do not forget to subscribe. And I wish you a nice day, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.